Imagine this. You walk into a friend's house and casually ask, "So, how's married life?" They smile and say, "Great. We sleep in separate beds." Wait, what? Aren't married couples supposed to sleep together? For decades, we've been sold the idea that a happy marriage means sharing a bed every night. Movies, TV shows, and even fairy tales reinforce this image. Two people, blissfully in love, falling asleep in each other's arms. But here's the truth, more and more married couples are choosing to sleep separately. And no, it's not because they've fallen out of love or their marriage is in trouble. The reason is actually very practical. Today, I want to break down why this growing trend is happening, the surprising benefits of separate sleeping arrangements, and why it might be a game changer for your relationship. 1. The sleep quality crisis. Let's start with something simple, sleep. We all know that good sleep is essential for our health. Yet, studies show that a significant number of people suffer from poor sleep quality, and in many cases, their partner is the reason why. Think about it. How many of you have ever been woken up in the middle of the night by snoring so loud it sounds like a construction site? A partner tossing and turning like they're training for a wrestling match? Someone stealing the blankets every single night? The dreaded alarm clock going off at 5 a.m. when you don't have to wake up for another 2 hours? When two people sleep together, one or both are often sacrificing their sleep quality. And poor sleep doesn't just make you tired, it affects your mood, health, and even your relationship. In fact, lack of sleep is directly linked to increased arguments and stress in couples. When you're exhausted, you're more irritable, more impatient, and let's be honest, less pleasant to be around. So, is it really so strange that some couples decide to sleep apart to get the quality rest they need? 2. The myth of, if you love someone, you must sleep together. Let's address a common misconception. Sleeping in separate beds doesn't mean you don't love each other. Many people assume that once a couple starts sleeping apart, it's the beginning of the end. That it's a sign of a failing marriage, emotional distance, or a lack of intimacy. But in reality, many couples who sleep separately report feeling closer and happier in their relationship. Why? Because when you're well rested, you communicate better. You have more patience. You're less likely to snap at each other over little things. Think about it this way. Would you rather wake up every morning exhausted, annoyed, and resentful? Or wake up feeling refreshed, energized, and ready to actually enjoy time with your partner? Quality sleep equals a healthier relationship. It's that simple. 3. The different sleep schedule dilemma. Another major reason why couples sleep apart is that they have different sleep schedules. Picture this. One person is an early bird who loves waking up at 6 a.m. for a morning jog. The other is a night owl who does their best thinking at 1 a.m. and loves binge-watching Netflix late at night. Now, what happens when these two people share a bed? Someone is either forced to change their natural sleep rhythm, which, by the way, isn't healthy, or they end up constantly disturbing each other's sleep. Couples who sleep separately can maintain their own sleep schedules without feeling guilty for keeping their partner awake. And guess what? That means they wake up happier, more rested, and with no resentment toward each other. 4. Snoring and sleep disorders, the silent relationship killers. Let's talk about something that ruins sleep and relationships without people even realizing it: snoring and sleep disorders. Snoring is one of the top reasons why people sleep apart. It's not just annoying, it can be a serious health issue, often linked to conditions like sleep apnea. For the person snoring, they might not even realize how bad it is. But for the person trying to sleep next to them, it's torture. Every night feels like a battle between exhaustion and frustration. In sleep disorders, many people struggle with insomnia, restless leg syndrome, or even night terrors. If one partner has a sleep issue, it can wreck sleep for both of them. Sleeping separately allows each person to manage their own sleep problems without dragging their partner into it. It's not about love, it's about self-care. 5. Temperature wars. Too hot, too cold, never just right. One of the silliest yet most common arguments couples have. The thermostat. One person loves sleeping with the window open in freezing temperatures. The other needs 3 blankets and a space heater to feel comfortable. Trying to find a compromise can lead to restless nights for both. Instead of fighting over blankets and fans, some couples find it easier to just sleep in separate beds, where they can control their own sleep environment without disruption. And let's be honest, it's easier to be in a good mood when you're not freezing or sweating all night. 6. Personal space, the underrated key to a happy marriage. We don't talk about this enough, but let's be real, sometimes, you just want your own space. Marriage is about closeness and connection, yes, but that doesn't mean you have to be physically together every single second. Some people simply sleep better when they have their own space. Maybe they like stretching out in bed without worrying about someone else rolling over onto them. Maybe they enjoy having a quiet, undisturbed place to wind down at the end of the day. Having separate beds, or even separate rooms, doesn't mean you love each other any less. It just means you recognize that a little space can actually improve your relationship. 7. Does this mean less intimacy? Not necessarily. Now, some people worry that sleeping apart means less intimacy. But let's flip that idea on its head. What if sleeping separately actually makes intimacy better? Here's why. When you're well rested, you have more energy, for conversations, for romance, and yes, for intimacy. Instead of taking each other for granted, separate sleeping spaces can add an element of excitement back into the relationship. Some couples even say that not sharing a bed makes them appreciate the time they do spend together more. It's not about avoiding closeness, it's about choosing when and how to be close, rather than forcing it out of obligation. At the end of the day, whether a couple sleeps in the same bed or separate beds isn't what defines a strong marriage. What truly matters is communication, respect, and understanding each other's needs. For some couples, sharing a bed every night works perfectly. For others, separate beds, or even separate rooms, are the key to a happy, well-rested relationship. So if you or someone you know sleeps separately from their spouse, don't assume it's a bad thing. It's not about love fading, it's about making choices that support both partners' well-being. Because a well-rested couple is a happy couple. And that's the real secret to a lasting, loving marriage. Thank you.